9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Well. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I am a couple of minutes late today. It's all kicking off this morning. I'm not sure if you've seen, but Harry Maguire has literally just tweeted about the ongoing situation at Manchester United. I had to quickly get that out there. Apologies for being a couple of minutes late, but we right now as Manchester United fans are sitting in a viper's nest. What is going on? The constant circus, the sideshow, it's distracting to say the least, but I'm going to try and speak about it all this morning. You saw my video yesterday. You've seen my couple of videos that I've done on Harry Maguire over the last week or so. I did a video saying that we needed to talk about Harry Maguire. I did a video yesterday saying that I was done with Harry Maguire as captain of Manchester United. And since yesterday, it's almost like my timing was spot on. It's all developed rapidly from a story last night from David McDonnell in the Mirror about Cristiano Ronaldo, about Harry Maguire, about the captaincy. I'm going to be speaking about that. And I'm also going to be speaking about Harry Maguire's reaction this morning. You remember that I said this yesterday. I said, look, why is it that Marcus Rashford is coming out and speaking about these reports and nothing from Harry Maguire? That's now changed this morning. And I'm going to run through that. I can see lots of you joining in this morning. Ian, Paul, and good morning to all of you. Josh, Takeoff. Good morning to all the members. Good morning to all the non-members as well. You're all welcome aboard here, United People's TV. It's interactive. It's live. It's Friday. We're going to do another giveaway today for the CR7 shirt. We've only got 2 left. But, geez, man, it's hard to keep up with everything that's happening at Manchester United at the moment. I spoke about it yesterday. I said, look, I don't understand why it's Marcus Rashford who is coming out and speaking against these reports. Surely that's the position of the captain. That's now changed this morning. I'm going to run through Maguire's reaction. I'm going to get your comments on that. That's the immediately breaking story. And then we're going to rewind and we're going to run through the whole article that came out last night from David McDonnell. Explain that. We're going to have a conversation about Ronaldo as captain. I don't think it's clean cut. We're going to have a conversation about Bruno Fernandes. We're going to have a conversation about Donny van der Beek at Everton. We're going to have a conversation about Martial at Sevilla after his first goal for the club. There are so many talking points. It really is busy. It's going to be a properly busy show this morning. So please get involved in the comments as you always do. I'll try and answer as many questions as possible. I've left this open for non-subscribers this week. Sometimes I've set it to subscribers only, but sometimes the conversation's good. But as long as you're decent in the comments, I'll keep it open for everybody. But look, let's go straight to the story here that's coming now. And this has just happened quite literally as I was about to go live. Well, not quite literally. 9:23 this morning. 15 minutes ago, Harry Maguire has tweeted this. In response, direct response to David McDonnell's article, which we will run through after. He said, I've seen a lot of reports about this club that aren't true, and this is another. Not going to start posting about everything that is written, but I needed to make this one clear. We're united and focused on Sunday. Enjoy your day, everyone. So that's Harry Maguire speaking out about these reports from David McDonnell, which we will run through in detail in a second. But what do you think about that? Because if we remember across the course of this season, that's now Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford. I think Fred's done it as well. I think Paul Pogba too. Manchester United players who are coming out and speaking out and saying that these stories are bullshit. Not this story in particular, but stories over the course of the season. There's been 4 or 5 Manchester United players who have come out and said, bullshit. They pointed at the article, they pointed at the journalist and said, no, you're making that up completely. And my natural instinct is to believe my players. Of course it is. That should be everyone's natural instinct as a fan. But in this situation here, I'm not undermining Maguire, but there really is no smoke without fire. And too much is going on at the Manchester United at the moment for something to not be happening. Now, I spoke in great depth about the leaks. In that video I did yesterday, I'm glad it had a good response because it's such an important and prevalent conversation that we have to have basically every single day now as Manchester United fans. I swear to God, people there's certain, there are certain people that love to thrive on negativity. I'm not one of them. I don't like it. I hate having these conversations about Maguire. I'd rather just focus on Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick at the weekend and whether or not we can pump Leeds or not. Speaking about the football that's coming up, we've got some exciting games coming up. We've got a hell of a March coming up. We've got such an incredible set of fixtures coming up in March that we can't really have a conversation about because we're too busy talking about Harry Maguire. But look, let me go down here and see what you're thinking in the comments. Anthony, you're saying it sounds like he's been forced to respond. And Rebecca, you're saying, I feel like he's doing this to cover his own back. I think if this had come out yesterday before the article, it might have been slightly more. I think it's unfair to say he's just covering his own back. He's basically acting how the captain should act, but he's kind of doing it after the horse has bolted. The door's being closed after the horse has already run out of it. It very much sums up Manchester United. Harry Maguire here is being reactive rather than proactive. So what Maguire could have and should have done was get ahead of this. Proactively stop this from happening. Come out with the right sort of statements and right sort of messages to fans. And instead, it's like the other way around. He's reacting to all the stories that have come out now. Sam, you're saying I honestly believe it's all bollocks from the reports, or you're saying he's a weak leader. Let's go down here. Nangwan, you're saying that you'll be the happiest person in the world if Ronaldo gets the armband. I'm going to be speaking about that next. Beth, you're not sitting on the fence there. You're saying Maguire is a disgrace to the club. I would say that's a little bit unfair, but I would say I'm not sure there's been a worse captain. I think that's pretty much fair. Peter, you're saying United's spin factory in full swing. All players coming out are the underachieving ones. I think all United fans are feeling a bit, I don't know, a bit fed up of it all, really. And to hear any sort of statements like that from Harry Maguire, any sort of statements like that from Marcus Rashford, any sort of statements from any player, any apology from any player, none of it makes any sense unless the players turn up on the pitch the following game. And that's the thing that's the thing that irks United fans, because you can so often we've heard players saying the right things off the pitch, but then as soon as it goes back on the pitch, we just turn into this mess again. And there's no real show of desire from the players on the pitch. But look, this Harry Maguire situation, it clearly is. It's the most important thing that we need to talk about. And with the Maguire situation, it's a complete mess. And it depends which way you look at it, which direction you look at it. I'm not really sure what the correct answer is. And that's why I want to speak to you about it this morning. So yeah, as I said there, that's Harry Maguire's reaction to reports that came out last night from David McDonnell. Now, who is David McDonnell? David McDonnell was a journalist who, back in Fergie's day, he was a very reliable journalist. He definitely had links to Manchester United. But ever since Fergie went, he's like Mark Ogden is another one. There's a couple of like the old guard journalists who certainly had their links when Fergie was about, but since then have sort of dropped down the credibility scale, if you want to call it that. But let's run through his article now, and you need to let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Okay, so this is the article that came out last night. I spoke about this in a little bit of detail yesterday before it all came out. We were speaking about it, and I've been told a similar sort of situation about Maguire, about Ronaldo, about what was going on behind the scenes, but at that time nothing was being said. And then this came out last night. And this is what David McDonnell said. He said, exclusive. Cristiano Ronaldo and Maguire in new Manchester United row as Ralf Rangnick faces a fresh crisis. Goes on to say that Ronaldo and Maguire have held talks over the captaincy. Said that Ronaldo and Maguire are embroiled in a power struggle. It is understood that Ralf Rangnick, Ronaldo and Maguire have had conversations about the latter relinquishing the armband for the rest of the season to take the pressure off him as he wrestles with his own loss of form. Now, my first question to you there, because I saw this last night on Twitter, I thought it was a fair point and a fair question. Do you think that taking the armband away from Harry Maguire, do you think that does relinquish the pressure? Or, as it was posed on Twitter, you go, does that not just give attackers who are playing against him the opportunity to call him like former captain? I think it was on Scott Republican Mancunia's Twitter account. Saw the conversation. Do you think that taking the armband away from Maguire would release the pressure, or do you think that taking the armband away from Maguire would kind of double down the pressure on him and make him a bit of a scapegoat to other players? You let me know what you think about that, because I think that's an important point. Paul, you're saying it releases it a little bit, but his form is poor. I mean, no one's really going to argue about his form, isn't it? His form's been trash. His form's been trashed all season. That's the only way you could do it. Thomas, you're saying not entirely a relief of pressure, but could help him. Malps, you're saying we are a soap opera. We are a soap opera, man. We're like Hollyoaks late edition. That's what we are at the moment. Go down here. That has to be done. Maguire is no scapegoat. People down there. Kwame, you're saying it takes the pressure away. I don't particularly think it takes the pressure away. But no, sod it, I do. Who am I kidding? I think it does. And I think the comparison that I drew immediately on that was when I spoke about Antonio Valencia. You remember he got the number 7 shirt. And you remember what he did. How long did he have that number 7 shirt for? What was it like? I don't know, maybe 4-6 months, something like that. And he gave it up. He handed it back in, and he took, I think it was 25 was Antonio Valencia's number. He took that shirt back and he said, look, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying the pressure of it. Let me just go back to being what I want to do, and then let someone else take it. And that took a lot of pride, a massive dent to his pride for Valencia to do that. Was it the right thing to do? Absolutely. Did his form improve after he gave the shirt back? Absolutely. Was it a lot of pressure to have the number 7 shirt at Manchester United? Absolutely. So it's the perfect example, in my opinion, of a player being put into a situation where he can't cope with the pressures of it, and he hands it over to someone else, and then his form can improve because of it. Because when you're the captain, as I said, the level of scrutiny is different. The level of pressure is different. You have to lead by example. And the fact of the matter is, he is not led by example in any way, shape, or form. On the pitch, off the pitch, mannerisms, body language, application. There's basically not one thing he's really done right as Manchester United's captain, because it's a very high pressure situation. And as I said, you will be held to a different level of accountability than anybody else. And so you should. You are quite literally the captain. You're not getting paid anymore. You're not more important technically than other players, but you're wearing the armband. You're the person that everybody's supposed to turn to. When you go 1-0 down in the 74th minute and the pressure's coming on, the players will turn to that captain and say, what are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? What do we need to do? He's like your general at war. You follow the leader. If you have a leader who's drunk and starts shooting his own men, no one's going to follow that leader. I'm not saying that Maguire is drunk and shooting his own men, but similar sort of analogy. He's not someone that anybody's going to follow into war. And that's what United need, man. It's a battle. This top 4 race, this Champions League push, it's a battle this season. And right now, Maguire's just not the leader. And I don't think he ever will be the leader. If he was going to be the leader, he would have been the leader. I think Solskjaer made a massive mistake by giving him the armband straight away. I think we all knew that. Everybody, I don't think there was anybody who saw Maguire get the armband as soon as he came in and was like, yeah, fair enough. Everyone was like, I'm not sure about that. I'll stick with it because it's Solskjaer's decision, but that seems like an odd move. Obviously, Solskjaer did it because he was the £80 million centre-back. He was supposed to be the man who came in and became our Van Dijk. I saw the logic-ish. But everyone was like, and it's kind of, we've all been proven right. So Maguire, the best case scenario right now, in my opinion, is Maguire hands the armband back. He takes the decision himself. It's like not getting sacked, you walk away, sort of thing. He won't. I don't think he'll get particularly kicked out of the team. Although I said that, I think he should be dropped. Stevie, you're saying, are you even reading comments? I can't read and speak at the same time, Steve. I talk for a bit, then I read for a bit. I talk for a bit, then I read for a bit. Maxime, you're saying what you're saying. Sam, do you honestly think Maguire is that big of an upgrade over Smalling for the price that he comes in for and all that, strictly footballing ability-wise? I think Chris Smalling was a centre-back who I quite like Chris Smalling. He just could not play out from the back with the ball. And as Manchester United progressed, as football progressed, the flaws of Chris Smalling were exposed more and more and more. I always thought he was a decent defender, but yeah, playing out from the back, absolutely abysmal. In terms of ability, it's the price tag, isn't it? It's the price tag. If Harry Maguire cost us 25 million like Lindelof did and Bailly did, then it wouldn't be like the end of the world. But it's the fact that it was an £80 million signing. It was the fact that he was supposed to come in and be our Van Dijk. And he's been anything but. It's been more like Prunier than Van Dijk. People are having a laugh down there. Yeah, I thought Smalling was a decent defender. John O'Shea was a decent defender. Johnny Evans was a decent defender. Wes Brown was an excellent defender. There's loads of United players who have been decent defenders that people like to point and laugh at. Phil Jones, when he was a decent defender. I still think he is a decent defender, but just not in a Manchester United shirt anymore. Gary, you're saying Johnny Evans was better than them all. I love Johnny Evans. Love's a bit strong. But that was just when United was spoiled, right? Man, imagine that. We were so spoiled that we were able to let Gerard Piqué go to Barcelona and it not be a problem because we had Vidic and Ferdinand. We were allowed to let Johnny Evans leave. I think we kind of made a mistake letting Johnny Evans leave when we did. But Johnny Evans left because we had covered there. We had enough. It's amazing. But look, as I said, let's continue reading through this article because there really is so much more to dissect and speak about. There's loads of you watching now. There's loads of you engaging. If you would, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to United People's TV. I'm here live Monday to Friday at 9:30, and I do other videos. I'll be doing a Leeds starting 11 later on today because we've got football on Sunday. I know. Imagine that. All this circus, you don't forget that you've got games coming up, but it dominates it so much that you can't focus on the football. That's what's annoying me so much at the moment. I just want to speak about the footy and I can't. I've got to speak about this permanent side story and soap opera. That's exactly what it is in the comments. And this is what it says down here. It's understood that Rangnick, Ronaldo and Maguire have had conversations about him relinquishing the armband to take off the pressure. But Maguire is reluctant to do that for fear of losing the captaincy on a permanent basis. We go down there, we read a bit more. Interim boss Ralf Rangnick has called on Ronaldo to mentor the young players within the squad, which is understood to have led to further friction with Maguire. Now, absolutely, Cristiano Ronaldo should be mentoring this squad. That's one of the single greatest positives of him coming back to the club. Remember the club that Ronaldo left in 2009? Champions League winning, Premier League competing, Premier League winning, dominant force. He comes back to Manchester United, 12 years later? Jeez. What has happened to this club since I left? My word. He's the man who needs to come in as a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, as a 5-time Champions League winner, as a multiple La Liga title, I think multiple La Liga title winner, Serie A title winner. Jesus, 800 plus goals, career goals. Of course he should be mentoring these kids. They should be trying to mimic every single thing he does in training. He is the greatest goal scorer of all time, and there is nobody who has applied themselves more in football ever than Ronaldo. At 37, he still looks like he could outrun most 25-year-olds for a short period of time. He's fit as a fiddle, and that's come simply because of his work rate, his application, and his attitude. So you're damn right he should be mentoring the other kids. And Maguire for Maguire to see that as a threat is ignorant from him. It's poor from him. Maguire, bro, if you if you were a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, I think the people will be coming to you for a bit of mentorship as well, my friend. If you've literally been the best player in the world on 5 occasions, I think people will want to listen to you. That's all I'm saying. So that I find that's an odd snippet, that one there. Manchester United skipper Maguire is said to feel increasingly undermined by Ronaldo's huge influence within the dressing room, particularly with the younger players. Well, again, Maguire, if that was the case, let's take it as true, and we speak about it here. Show that with performances. Performances are everything. It doesn't matter what happens during. I mean, of course, it matters what happens during training, but realistically, it doesn't. Because as soon as you go on the pitch, it's all about what you do on the pitch. Now, Ronaldo, let's be honest, he's not been that incredible in the last 6-7 games. Great goal that he scored there against Brighton. Nice. Actually, it's an incredible goal. For him to get that much power in his shot from that short space of time is amazing. But he hadn't scored in 6 before that. He's trotted off down the tunnel without saying thank you to the away end on like 5 or 6 different occasions. So Ronaldo's not been flawless. Ronaldo's not been perfect, and maybe that's why Maguire's feeling a little bit annoyed. He's like, I know I'm playing shit, but Ronaldo's playing shit. How's he getting away with it? Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo. All right? That's simple. He has built up enough credit over his career that he can go through these sorts of patches, and no one can really talk too much. Maguire's patch has lasted since the first day of the season. Since he came back from Euro 2020, Maguire has been an absolute shadow of himself. And at Euro 2020, he was extremely good. He was. He was arguably inside that team of the tournament. He came back from injury. Remember, he missed the first game, second game as well. And he was fantastic as the tournament progressed. Him and Luke Shaw, arguably in the team of the tournament, they got to the final. So we know that Maguire can be a good defender. We just haven't seen any of that this season. Someone fired in a super chat there, so I'll read that one out. Who is it? Ian, how you doing there? Saying, after watching all sumptuous defenders sumptuous, very nice, since childhood, all I can say is Maguire, sorry, £80 million is a bloody joke. You're not even worth 80 cents. Sorry to say this, brother. That's a bit unfair. I reckon he's worth 80 cents. But look, it's an important thing to comment to raise there, because we have been spoiled, haven't we? We have been utterly spoiled as Manchester United fans. From Vidic, from Ferdinand, from Bruce, from Pallister, from Jaap Stam, Laurent Blanc, you can throw him in there. Man, even Silvestre was decent when he played centre-back. We have been spoilt to a lot of like powerhouse centre-backs. And now we've got Harry Maguire as our centre-back. And it's jarring. It makes it more jarring. But we can't focus on the history, right? That's what everyone calls us right now. Let me go down there and read more of the comments. Not the comments, sorry. More of this article. And then we'll head back to the comments. As I said, it's really important for us to read the whole article. And then I'm not ignoring the comments, but I'm trying to do both at the same time. Trying to multitask here, people. Ronaldo has positioned himself as the one setting the example for younger players, and the need for one figure himself to get everyone pulling in the same direction. And that's massively what it's been like at Manchester United. And you're saying down there, Dennis Irwin, the most underrated defender we ever had. Dennis Irwin was the king of the 7 out of 10 performance. Every single week, you knew Dennis Irwin was going to put in a 7 out of 10 performance, and he did. He never let anybody down. And great at set pieces as well. Great penalty taker. Anyway, what was I saying there? Yeah, Manchester United haven't been pulling in the same direction for a long time. That's exactly what I've described us as. You know that little Mr. Stretchy, the little toy that kids used to have? You could literally just pull the arms. Just like that. Just put in 2 arms in 2 completely different directions, the legs in different directions, 4 people put it in 4 different directions. That's what Manchester United is right now. The club, the board, Joe Glazer, the players, inside the players, different directions everywhere. And that goes to show that there's been a lack of leadership and a failure on Maguire's part as a captain. All right? All this has happened under his watch. It's what I said in my video yesterday. All of this. And he should have been speaking out earlier and more aggressively. And I don't think he's been doing that enough. I don't think he's been doing enough as captain. Otherwise, we would not be in this position. Maguire is said to feel marginalised in terms of his authority within the United dressing room, leading to him thinking that some of the players are losing respect for him. Yeah, of course they are, man. There is now a growing belief within the Old Trafford dressing room that it is inevitable that Ronaldo will replace Maguire as captain. And that's what we're going to speak about next. In fact, sod that. That's basically the end of the article. Let's speak about that now. I want you to let me know in the comments below what you think about Cristiano Ronaldo as captain. Do you think that he should be given the captain's armband at Manchester United? Do you think it should be him that comes in and replaces Maguire? Because in my opinion, I think it is now inevitable that Maguire is replaced as captain. I don't think it should be anything that's done in terms of a public statement, a public announcement. I don't think it needs anything like that. I think it should simply be that a team sheet comes up, Ronaldo's got the armband and Maguire's playing. And that's it. Because if that happens, then not too much is there's not too much of a furore around it. And if Maguire then puts in a solid performance in that game, it sort of buries it immediately. And that's what I think we should do. But let me go down here and see what you're thinking about Ronaldo as captain. Ian, what you're saying? You're saying, I think that he should be dropped so that he can come back stronger. No one should be above the club. Absolutely. That's the case. Richard, you think it should be there. Jonathan, you're saying Ronaldo only a captain if he is committed to staying. And that's certainly a conversation that we need to have. Let me see what else we're all saying down here. Mizzo, you're saying no, not Ronaldo. Bruno should replace Slabhead. Ronaldo captain says that. Rebecca, you're saying Ronaldo or Bruno. And Matt, you're saying making it Ronaldo sends all the wrong messages and will just further exacerbate the issues. Aaron, you're disagreeing. You're saying Ronaldo's captain until the end of the season. So many of you firing in the comments. Thank you very much. Paulie, you're saying he should have been given the armband as soon as he stepped off the plane. Now, I actually agree with the comment there that said giving it to Ronaldo might exacerbate the issues. I want to explain that exactly why, and exactly what Jonathan was saying in a previous comment as well. Ronaldo, we don't even know if he's going to be here next year. All right. Say our season goes to pot. Say we get knocked out of the Champions League by Atletico Madrid and we finish 5th, and we're not in the Champions League next year. Can you hand on your heart say that you know that Ronaldo's going to be here next year? You absolutely cannot. And that, for me, is why, in my opinion, there really is only one person that we should be speaking about as captain. It's not him. It's him. I don't think that there's... I mean, look, I think if you wanted to have the argument about David De Gea, yeah, sure, you could have the argument about David De Gea. But in my opinion, there's only one choice for our captain if Maguire is replaced, and that should be Bruno Fernandes. And the reason I'm not including David De Gea in that is simply because... Not simply because of it, but positionally, I want my captain to be in the middle of the pitch as much as possible, to speak to people, to communicate to people, to try and hold that team together from the front and the back. And I just don't think David De Gea will be capable of doing that from his position. All right. And Bruno Fernandes, in terms of his attitude and application, has played like a captain far more than anybody over the last, was it 2 years now? 1 year, 2 years. Shit, has he been here for 2 years already? My word. Bruno Fernandes dragged our club out of the mud, man. I've said this before. He was the person who came in and sort of made everybody raise their standards simply by how he played. Now, you can argue about Bruno's, sometimes he's chaotic, sometimes, because he is chaotic sometimes. And there are a few things that Bruno Fernandes would have to rein in a little bit as a captain. The responsibilities would change somewhat. Now, Marcelino down here, you're saying Bruno isn't a proven winner yet. I mean, you wouldn't know that, Marcelino, by how he plays. Bruno Fernandes plays like a winner. He plays like he wants to win every game, like he wants to win every single pass and wants to win every single ball. Bruno Fernandes, for me, is the attitude right now of what we need. And you disagree here, and I can understand this comment there, saying, right, I don't think we need him right now. What we need from a captain is composure. Bruno really doesn't have that. If we concede, he would end up like a headless chicken. I would trust Bruno Fernandes to adapt and improve and take a new step into that leadership role if he was given it, in my opinion. And I've seen nothing. Yeah, you can talk about United a headless chicken FC. You really think it's going to be that much different with Ronaldo? Ronaldo, I don't know. I think that's a fair argument about the headless chicken when we go 1-0 down. But for me, it's quite an easy choice. I think the only other, I personally wouldn't give it to Ronaldo. I would give it to David De Gea or Bruno. And for me, it's like 95%. I think Bruno Fernandes, if he got that armband, would absorb the responsibility of that armband and adapt his game to it. He would understand that Bruno Fernandes, before he got the captain's armband, and Bruno Fernandes after he got the captain's armband, were two different players. And I think his game would adapt, would change, and he would become Manchester United's captain and sort of tweak certain things. And I think Ralf Rangnick would probably tell him that as well. And I think he would absorb that and take that on board, because Bruno wants to be the centre. Bruno enjoys the pressure. He wants to take that penalty. He wants to take that set piece. He wants to take that pass on. He wants to take all that pressure. So for me, he's a player who's shown that he thrives under that pressure. And Maguire is quite the opposite. Let's be completely honest. Jibak, what are you saying here, sir? We gave the armband to Maguire, a specialist in getting relegated. Bruno is a massive improvement over him and is ahead of anyone else in that club. Mate, Harry Maguire, man. Jeez. Harry Maguire. Imagine 80 million on Harry Maguire. It's ridiculous, really. Really is. Manchester United got to put their pants pulled down. The Premier League tax, the Man United tax, XYZ, the English tax, they all got added on. 80 million though. Wow, we were. Darren, you're saying, like you say, Sam, Bruno would change the dynamic of the team, and he'd change the dynamic of his own game by being captain. When was the last time I think I ran through the list of captains, wasn't it? So if we reverse it, who was before Harry Maguire? Was it Carrick? Was it Young? I think it was Young. And then it was Valencia. And then it was Carrick. And then it was Rooney. Look at the armband. The armband at Manchester United has meant very little, in the same sense that the number 7 shirt has meant very little for a long time. And that's the truth. That is the God's honest truth. Both of those two things used to be extremely symbolic at Manchester United. They used to mean something, and the players that wore them carried that extra meaning. And it's just not been the case with the number 7 shirt for a ton of time until it went back to Ronaldo. And the captain's armband has really not meant that much for a long time as well. Warren, what you're saying here. Don't know about you, but you barely see Maguire communicating to his teammates, motivating them during matches. Don't think he says much in training either, making assumptions. Yeah, well, that is an assumption there. But what you can see on the pitch, yeah, from Manchester United's defensive performances to Manchester United's defensive shape to what happens when we go 1-0 down, Maguire just does not do enough as a captain. And he doesn't show it with his performances. He doesn't show it with his communication. And it's a hard task, man. Being a captain, I mean, I wouldn't know what it's like. But being a manager, being the person who's leading, leadership is difficult. Leadership, there is a reason why there are 1,000 soldiers to every one leader. Probably even more. Leadership is difficult. Leadership is hard. To lead people, and especially when it goes against you and you're in trouble and you need, everybody's looking, those 1,000 soldiers are looking towards that one leader for inspiration, for help, for communication, for direction. It's difficult. It's why there's so many more soldiers than there are leaders. And at Manchester United right now, we've just got a bunch of privates. We don't even have who's a general, who's a lieutenant. That's what we need. And Bruno, for me, I think it's an easy decision, in my opinion. I'd understand it completely if it was Ronaldo. Would I begrudge the fact that if Ronaldo becomes captain of Manchester United? Come on. Of course I'm not going to begrudge that. I like to think that Cristiano Ronaldo would do the same thing that Bruno Fernandes would do. I think he would step up a little bit more. I think he would, yeah. I think he would start, as I said, that one thing there that Ronaldo needs to sort of nip in the bud is the fact that he just legs it off down the tunnel and doesn't go to the away end and support. It's a huge part of fan culture. It's a huge part of culture. I appreciate the fact that these fans are traveling hundreds of miles, spending hundreds of quid, supporting you, support them back. It might be a small touch to certain fans, but for those fans who travel, it's a very important thing. And they're so significant in helping Manchester United. The fan bases, the travelling fans. I think Ronaldo's going to have to nip that in the bud. That's the thing that's a bit odd. Let me go down there and read a few of your comments out here. There's so many people engaging. So thank you very much. Nice to see you this morning. As you see, it's such a big talking point. This is, I suppose, why you're all here. T is saying the armband and the number 7 have been watered down over the years. Manchester United are a diluted version of themselves right now. So is the armband. So is the number 7. That's exactly what everything has just been diluted and watered down for a long, long time at Manchester United. Everything's sort of lost its meaning. Everything's sort of lost its significance. Everything's sort of lost its importance in comparison to what it was before. And that's why we're starting to get called History FC. And it's certainly true. And when it comes to this armband, this is quite an important moment, man. We have to draw the line. We have to, because the longer it goes on now, with Maguire's form being like this, then it just sort of goes to, it shows the acceptance of those standards at Manchester United. Because the captain, as I said, and I've reiterated so many times, he has to be held accountable to a different standard. That's the whole point of a captain. Fizz, what are you saying? What if the change causes a greater divide within the team once Bruno is promoted as captain? It's a hypothetical if. I don't think it would happen. But if it does happen, then I would want everybody who's on side with Bruno, because I know that Bruno would have Manchester United's greatest intentions in mind. Because he wants to succeed. He's dying to match his goals and match his assists with actual silverware, with actual titles. That's what he came to Manchester United for. And he strikes me as a man that is ready to absorb that pressure of trying to get United back to where we were. Because whoever does that, whatever captain does that, whatever manager does that, it's the hardest job in football now. But whoever does it would instantly become a legend and one of the biggest clubs in the world. And that sort of goal is something I think Bruno wants. So if it does cause a great divide, then I don't care. Anybody who's on the wrong side of that, I know doesn't have United's best intentions in mind, and I'm fine with that. It might expose those players even more. Jibak saying, how I wish we had an 18-year-old Rooney again. I think I said this on Twitter. I know I said this on Twitter. After the Rooney documentary came out, I said, look, man, I kind of had to apologize publicly to Rooney. I'm not sure if you were the same as me, but in that whole situation with the contract back in, I think it was like 2010-ish, something like that, when Rooney sort of came out and said that he wanted to leave United. He was angling for a move to Man City, and he broke Fergie. Rooney was the first player I remember Fergie sort of backing down for, and I stood by Fergie completely. I really had a lot of anger towards Rooney and how he did that. And now that it's sort of like you get a bit older, time moves on, you realise that Rooney was fair. And Rooney was right to question those decisions of the club at the time. He was right to question the ambition of the club at the time. And it sort of it changed my thinking of Rooney for quite a few years. So I apologise to Rooney. And if you've watched that documentary, seriously watch that documentary. It's quite an exposing documentary. But I suppose that's what a good documentary does. It brings you the true stories of these players. And Rooney, man, yeah, nobody fought like he did in a Manchester United shirt. And Bruno does remind me of Rooney quite a lot, actually, in terms of how he plays. In terms of sometimes you're going, oh, mate, can you not be as reckless as that? Do you have to, really? Sort of like built into them. And that's the fighter mentality. Rooney obviously come from a family of boxers. I think both of his brothers were in boxing at some point as well, and he certainly did. And he was definitely a fighter. And yeah, so Rooney, yeah, it's a good point there. How I wish we had a Rooney back. But look, I think I don't think we're going to be seeing anything for the game against Leeds this weekend. That's my opinion. I don't think that Ralf Rangnick's going to be taking the armband away from Harry Maguire. And look, as I said there, I was speaking so often about how the fact that I wanted Harry Maguire to come out and speak as a captain. He's come out and he's spoken as a captain, right? He came out there and he said, look, I've seen a lot of reports about this club that aren't true, and this is another. Not going to start posting about everything that is written, but I needed to make this one clear. We're united and focused on Sunday. Enjoy your day. So Maguire coming out there and basically he's doing what I've wanted him to do for a while. Come out and denounce and poo-poo the stories in the same way that Marcus Rashford came out to Christian Falk. I was a little bit frustrated that Marcus Rashford was the one who came out and Maguire wasn't the one who came out. But let's see what happens on Sunday, right? Because again, this is all talk and we're going Leeds away. Leeds away. It's not going to get more. Well, Leeds away and Liverpool away, the two most hostile atmospheres that Manchester United players can walk into in English football. So let's see what the players do then. We know what happens where Leeds right now, what are they like? 4 points, 4, 5, 6 points off bottom of the league. Leeds are put this season. Absolutely crap. United are indifferent this season. Sometimes they may be good, sometimes they may be shit. So what we need to see from Manchester United, from Harry Maguire, from every player against Leeds on Sunday is fight. Absolute battle. It should be a battle on Sunday. Because of everything that's going around at Manchester United at the moment, it needs to be a battle and a win. So Harry Maguire, man, you can say all you want here. And as I said, I'm happy that he's done that. Okay, it's the least I would expect from my captain. It's different, right? Back in the day, you didn't have to. Captains wouldn't have had to be so public as this, right? But football's changed. Social media and the internet has changed the culture of supporting a football club and what the makeup of a football club's fan base is. And that's why you see players like this coming out and defending themselves. At the same time, Gary Neville is, as I spoke about in the video yesterday, a lot of it is self-preservation. It's Harry Maguire protecting his own pride and his own public image. Yes, cool. But at the same time as that, as long as that it leads to an improved Harry Maguire for Manchester United, then I'm all for it. Because I don't think Harry Maguire is going to be completely dropped. I think he should have been dropped. I think he's been afforded chances by Ralf Rangnick. I think Victor Lindelof doesn't deserve to be kept out of the team in the same way that probably Donny van der Beek didn't deserve to be kept out of the team by Freddie McTominay when they were playing so badly. James, how you doing there, buddy? In the comments, nice to see you. We gave away the captain's armbands to Slabhead. What did he do? Bruno truly deserved it. How many points has he helped affect since his arrival? Hope it will be CR7 now. Well, it looks like it's going to be Ronaldo. That's what the reports are saying. Okay. Money Me saying, Sam, talk about David De Gea as potential captain. As I said, I think De Gea could easily be a captain, but if I'm looking for two things that a captain needs to do, one of them is communication. I don't think that's De Gea's strongest point. I think we can all agree on that. That's definitely not his strongest point. And two is just positionally. I think there's a reason why Roy Keane was the best captain we've ever had. It wasn't just because he was Roy Keane. It was because he was the central midfielder. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit too traditional in thinking this, and it's wrong. But Roy Keane was stationed in the middle of the pitch. He could shout at the centre-back. He could shout at his goalkeeper just as much as he could shout at his striker. Same distance from everybody. The player in the middle of the wheel, the cog that held it all together. That's what a captain should do. And that, for me, is why Bruno Fernandes suits it a little bit more. All right? Again, I might be wrong in saying that. It might be an overly traditional thing. Oh, Sam, it's got to be a central midfielder. But I don't know. It's just I've seen the best with Roy Keane. And I want to see that with Bruno Fernandes. Now, as I said, do you type it in the comments now? Type yes or no. Do you think Harry Maguire will be captain and start against Leeds on Sunday? You let me know in the comments. Because, again, this is a situation that Ralf has to manage. Today's Friday. Today is the press conference. So we're definitely going to hear from Ralf Rangnick in terms of what he has to say about this unfolding Harry Maguire situation. It strikes me that he will come out and support his players. He will come out and support Marcus Rashford. He will come out and support Harry Maguire and say, look, we're fine. I don't know what these reports are saying, but we're fine. Don't know. Let me go down here and see what you think. Overwhelming majority. So many of you are firing in comments here. I'm going to say like 80-20 are saying, yes, he will start and he will be captain at the weekend. I think you're right as well. He's going to be in my predicted 11. It is what it is, I suppose. Look, quickly before we move on to the next talking point, it is Friday after all, and I have to announce the winner of this week's, maybe, future captain CR7 shirt. So we've got 2 of these left. So we've got this one to give away this week, and then I'm going to give away this one. Maybe I'll sign it. Why am I going to sign it? That'll ruin the shirt. But this is the one that I've been using every week. So this is a bit special, this one, I suppose. But anyway, the winner for this week's one, chosen at random, by the way. And the way I choose it, just to let you know, I see how many members there are on YouTube, on Facebook. I total it all together. I type it into Google. I type random number generator. Boom. And that's how I find it. Now, the winner this week, drum roll, please, is Nathan. Big up to you, Nathan. Congratulations, mate. You've won it from YouTube. Nathan, you're going to have to message me because I can't message you on YouTube. That's the unfortunate reality. But big up to you, my friend. Congratulations to Nathan Pitt. I've definitely recognized your name from the comments quite a lot, but you have won this week's CR7 shirt, sir. So make sure that you please drop me a message. Otherwise, I can't give it to you. So, sorry, in Damo saying, I'm Nathan. I don't think you are, Damo. All right. Unlucky, though. Marcelino saying, CR7 should be captain. Unlike Maguire, the ST position requires good service, which we don't provide. CR7 at City would be scoring like crazy. Mate, Ronaldo at City would be horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. He would just be goal hanging. He would just be sitting there. He wouldn't have to do anything else. As I said, Ronaldo is a player that is used to playing in teams which dominate the ball and dominate possession. If he had that, mate, if he was at City, my God. Apparently, Nathan's won before. Has he? I don't know. I don't know that. I swear to God, I'm choosing this at random. So I know you all want to think this is fixed. Certainly, or maybe you win next week. Maybe not. Probably not. Definitely not. But look, you might win. Everyone's got the same chance of winning every week. Look, before we head on, there's still more talking points. We've got to speak about Martial at Sevilla. We've got to speak about Donny van der Beek at Everton. Please, would you consider just dropping a like on the video? It only takes 1 second. It's free to do. And subscribe if you're new to United People's TV. I always enjoy doing these interactive streams with you. I'm here Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. UK time. And we talk about all the latest breaking Manchester United news. And I do separate shorter videos because I know not everybody can join the live videos. So I blend it between short videos and longer videos, like the video I did yesterday on Harry Maguire. And when it comes to these sorts of talking points, I'm happy at the timing of my videos. I think that's quite important. I could have jumped on the Harry Maguire slagging train a lot earlier, right? A lot earlier with the platform that I've got. But I don't think I like to hold back because I don't want to jump too early, if you know what I mean. And I did that video yesterday just as these articles were coming out. So I feel like I've timed the conversation well. And that's quite important to me, to make sure that I'm not just scapegoating, not being overly negative when too often. Yeah, that's quite important to me. So I'm happy about that. But look, let's talk about Donny, because Donny has got off to a cracking start at Everton, and I think it's fair that we spoke about him. And this one's for you. There you go, mate. Don't say I don't treat you well. So Frank Lampard, this is what Frank had to say about Donny van der Beek. He said, absolutely impressed with his fitness, his game sharpness. He is a top-level player. He was when Manchester United signed him. He's shown that if you keep your counsel, keep your head down, there's always a way through it. And that's the biggest thing that I will always say about Donny van der Beek. he was nothing but professional the entire way through his frustration at Manchester United. A couple of years, he could have done so much more in the public press to try and swing opinion, to try and swing it towards him. He didn't do anything. He didn't really kick off in training. He kept his head down. He worked. And Donny is finally getting the opportunities he deserves. Everton fans were raving about him after his debut against Leeds. Actually, shit, it was Leeds they pumped. I think it was, anyway. Was it 3-0? Manchester United should be pumping Leeds this weekend, but because it's Leeds away, you can't really, you can't really, I lost my train of thought. You can't really expect anything because it's United, right? And you're saying nice dig at United there from Frank. Yeah, well, I suppose it is. And yeah, the dig at Manchester United has always been that why have Fred and McTominay been playing ahead of Donny van der Beek, who clearly hasn't been given enough opportunities in the Premier League? He had plenty of chances elsewhere, but it was the Premier League where he hadn't been given the true opportunity. And that's why you never were able to sort of analyze him and see whether or not he was fit enough and strong enough for the Premier League, because he never really got the opportunity to do that. Now, there's a couple of comments there. There's one from Jonathan saying, Sam, can you discuss the Leeds game? Let's pull this up now. Leeds against Man United. It's always hostile, right? Absolutely hostile. It's going to be as hostile as hell going into the game on Sunday. Let's go up here. Let's pull this up. Let's speak about it here quickly. All right. I'm going to get my my video out later on today. What's your opinion on the game? What's your prediction for the game? Because Man United, as I said there, we look at the table. United are 4th at the moment. I hope we get top 4 this year. You can't guarantee it, but look where Leeds are. Look where Leeds are. Down there. Wow. They are 6 points off the relegation zone with a game in hand. Let's have a look at what they're doing. Look at the recent results. Win probability, 50% for United, 24% draw, 25% for Leeds. We all know how Leeds play, right? It's the only guarantee you've got from this game on Sunday is both teams will score, in my opinion. Guaranteed that both games will score with how Manchester United's defense are playing at the moment. Mate, and if Manchester United turn up against Leeds and we play how we did in that first half against Brighton, we're going to be like 3-0 down at halftime. Mark my words. We simply cannot do it. It will be a massively hostile atmosphere. It always is at Ellen Road. And it's nasty. It's a nasty hot. You know, sometimes you get hostile atmospheres, but it's because of the football. With Leeds, it's a bit more than that. It's hostile beyond just the football. Let me go down here. Champ, you think it's going to be 3-1 to United. FP, you're going 2-1 United. Peter, how you doing, buddy? You're saying 3-0 to United. Have you got your Ronaldo shirt? You need to let me know. 4-0 says Paul. 2-2 says Fizz. 4-1. 4-3 to Leeds. 2 own goals. Penalty team and a red card. So what? So he scores 2 own goals, then he scores a penalty, and then gets a red card. No, I know what you mean. I'm not looking forward to it, if I'm being completely honest. I'm nervous about that game. It's a horror. Despite Manchester United's excellent recent results against Leeds, this one we're going into it slightly different. What are they predicting? Oh no, they haven't got it down there. Any news? What about the news from the game? Why the Leeds and United hate each other so much? No, don't need to know that. We don't speak about that anyway. If they fancy giving us another Cantona, though, I wouldn't be too upset about that. But look, the main talking point today, as I said, has been all about this man. It's been all about Harry Maguire. It's been all about the captain's armband, and it's all been about whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo is the right man. We ran through the article from David McDonnell. We ran through Harry Maguire's reaction to it. I was happy to see it. I wish it could have came earlier. I wish it was a proactive response from our captain instead of a reactive response from our captain. But let's see what happens against Leeds this weekend. Let's hear from Ralf Rangnick, because he's going to be speaking to the press today, and therefore we're going to get a bit of insight into what's going on behind the scenes. It strikes me that Ralf is going to come out in support of Maguire, in support of Rashford, in support of the fact that these stories are made up. He's going to say that we're United. He's going to say there's nothing going on. Fact of the matter is, we know that something's going on, all right? There really is no smoke without fire. Manchester United are a divided club at the moment, certainly. And we need to know exactly what the problem is. We all know that Harry Maguire has not performed well enough since he became Manchester United's captain. I think we're all completely aware of that. But whether or not Ronaldo is the right choice is something a bit different. Someone there raising a point there that I do need to speak about. Yeah, absolutely. And that is this, that Anthony Martial yesterday got his first goal for Sevilla in, was it a 3-1 win, I think they had against Zagreb. Well done to Tony. He's over there celebrating. He's having a good time. Let me go full screen, actually. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. He's having a great time. Tony has, he's actually impressed. He's been doing quite well so far on his loan spell. He's been kind of getting raved about by the manager, raved about by Monchi. They're all happy with how Tony's got on since he's gone out there on loan. I personally do not think that Manchester United will be taking Martial back. I think the best case scenario here for United is Tony continues this sort of form. Hell, goes and wins La Liga title, wins Sevilla. That'd be great for him. I wouldn't begrudge him that in any way, shape, or form. I just don't think he's going to be coming back to Manchester United. So the best case scenario is he nails it, plays well, and we get a really good fee for Anthony Martial that we can reinvest into a new centre forward that we desperately need in the summer. Jonathan, you're saying forget Martial. Hope he does well. He's a good fit for that league. He is. Yeah, as I said, I don't begrudge him doing well in any way, shape, or form. I want him to do well. I just know that it's not going to be back at Manchester United. But look, thank you all very much for joining in this morning. That was quite an intense conversation, wasn't it? I just want to watch United play football. It's not hard. It's all we want as fans. We've got the game on Sunday. Enjoy your Saturday. There's no football that United can ruin your Saturday with. They can ruin your Sunday, though. So we'll be here on Sunday with my match reaction, as always. I'll be here later today with my starting 11 for the game against Leeds. It's a busy old time for Manchester United fans. Thank you very much for joining in today. Gungshi's asking where the favourite map is. I'll keep that for next Friday because I'm a bit talked out at the moment after that Martial conversation. But thank you very much, everybody. Daniel James is not going to score, by the way. But look, I swear if Daniel James scores, he's not going to score. He might score. He probably will score. God damn. But thank you all very much for joining in on Facebook and on YouTube. Please consider dropping a like on the video, sharing the video if you're on Facebook, subscribing if you're new on YouTube. I'll be back here. Hell, maybe I'll be here tomorrow. Why not? Might not be. But anyway, take it easy, everyone. Thank you all for joining in.